Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. So basically today's video is gonna be like a chit chat kind of video, which I don't really love doing them because I'd be mad nervous, but basically I just felt like this was an important video to make, considering the circumstances of what's going on in the world right now. So I'm just gonna give a little background, as we all know, but I just need to put some context. So today is March 18th, 2020. The world is going through a pandemic, coronavirus pandemic, which is affecting pretty much every country in the world right now. People are dying, people are getting sick, businesses are closing. Pretty much anyone that's alive at this point probably has never experienced anything like this before. So this is pretty much something that's new to the world, and we're kind of all working through it together. Of course, everyone digests situations differently. So some people are affected by it more than others, and some people might be affected by it more than others, but might be handling it better. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out about what's going on. And then there's other people who believe that it's straightforward. It's just a virus that they're trying to contain. In New York City right now, we are on day 2 of quarantine, which basically means they have closed down pretty much all the restaurants, bars. They closed down everything that is pretty much a social gathering. It's like the rule now that you can't gather in social spaces that consist of more than 10 people. They're pretty much only keeping open the things that need to be open, such as supermarkets, airports, hospitals, doctor's office, things of that nature that we all need to survive. I feel like this is such an important time and such a powerful time. The planet has been through way worse things than this. And at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer in God, and I believe that this is God's world. He controls everything. And you cannot walk in fear, you have to walk in faith, and that's that. This will all blow over, and we'll all just be stronger individuals because of it. For me, the most powerful part of this is that when you sit back and look at the world and see that there's people that are struggling every single day, financially, mentally, physically, all these kind of struggles. And then you look at the people that are in better positions than most people, and they don't generally struggle, or they don't struggle in the ways that the average Joe might. Because I shouldn't say they don't struggle. Everyone struggles. But it's just interesting to see a moment in time where everyone is struggling together. Like, there's no amount of money that can buy you out of this situation. Basically, everyone is being affected. For me personally, I've made it very transparent to the people that have been following me that although I do freelance work, I do work in a restaurant part-time. And because of that, they've closed the restaurant. So I'm out of work temporarily. And basically they have us applying for unemployment, which is just crazy to think. Like, I've never been in a situation like this before. But every situation that I've encountered in my life, I've pretty much never been in before. And God has seen me through every situation, time and time and again. It's been proven that God will always make a way. So I don't really have any stress and any worries about this situation. This is giving everyone an opportunity to kind of just humble themselves and realize that we are only humans. We are only a grain of salt in this big planet that God has created. And we don't run this planet. God runs this planet. We don't run this planet. We gotta humble ourselves. So the point of this video, I just kind of digress because I just wanted to give a background as to where I am in it. But basically the point of this video is for me to talk to you guys about my experience traveling during this pandemic. I live in New York, and I went to California, to Los Angeles on the 12th. Like I said, today is the 18th. Basically, the purpose of the trip was essentially a business trip. One of my friends, she owns a sunglasses company. No shade, shout out to her. She owns a sunglasses company, and there was like this fashion, it's called Fashionpreneur. Basically like this retreat / convention that, a bunch of different people in the fashion industry, especially young Black women, were invited to come and have panels, vendors. There was supposed to be a gala, all this kind of wonderful stuff. My friend, basically, she had paid to be a vendor. So she had already paid $500 to be a vendor. So it was kind of difficult for her to back out of it, considering she wasn't going to be getting her money back. And we had already paid for the hotel, already paid for the flight. So like I said, on the 12th, which was literally only 6 days ago, it wasn't even as bad as it is right now. Of course, we knew of it being a pandemic in China, like, you know, in Europe, Italy was shut down, and so on and so forth. But they didn't declare it a pandemic in America at the time, and no one was really taking it as seriously as they are 6 days later. So like the night before I went on my trip, I was like really heavily debating about going, just because like I have a pretty weak immune system. I'm a healthy young lady in a sense, but I have health issues. I have underlying health issues that I've been suffering for a while. So I'm very cautious about exposing myself to situations where my health is being compromised. So I was on the fence about going. A lot of people were talking me out of going, but a lot of people were telling me basically like I shouldn't live my life in fear. I should just go. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go, because at the end of the day, I'm going with God, period. So I went on the trip. We got on our flight now. And when we got on our flight, it was so empty, like empty. We got like travel size Lysol spray, travel size sanitizers, and wipes. We basically just wiped down all of the seats, the screen. We wiped everything down, Lysol everything down. We did see people with face masks and gloves, but basically, for me, it's like I understand why a person would wear face masks and gloves, just because they want to take precaution. If you had on gloves and you use your phone case, you're transferring all of the germs right onto your phone case, your jacket, whatever, your hair. You are transferring all of those germs. So although it's not directly touching your hands, it's all over you inevitably. And when you take the gloves off, you still have a super high chance of touching it and getting it anyways. So it's like, honestly, there's really no purpose for me in wearing those gloves. It's best you just sanitize your hands as much as possible, spray what you can, wipe what you can. Just take precaution where you can. Fine. We get to LA and we're basically went to go rent a car. We had a little difficulty renting a car, but that's a whole nother story. When we did finally go and rent the car with Avis, there was like literally no one. I'm talking about the only person in Avis was the guy that works there. He looked like he was bored out his mind. We were chit-chatting it up with him. He was talking about the virus and, you know, just how it's affecting LA. And he's just saying basically like the streets are just dead. We basically at this point, after seeing like how LA was looking, we had came to the, you know, unanimous conclusion that like this is not a turn-up trip. This is not a vacation. We're going to come to do what we have to do and we're going to get home. And that's that, right? Basically, long story short, we try to go to museums. Every museum was closed. If you know me, you know I love art, so I'm always going to try to see museums in every city. Every single museum was closed. There was restaurants that were closed. Like I said, this was like the 12th and the 13th, right? The 13th, we went to the business event where she was a vendor. People came out, but not a lot of people as you would expect, you know, if the pandemic wasn't happening. But people did come out. So basically, at this point, we were on the fence. We're like, okay, we don't think that this virus is that deep. We don't think that it is what they're making it out to be. And that was that, right? Then my mom calls me and she's like, oh, did you hear about what Trump is saying about how they're going to put a travel ban on California? So I'm like, what? Stop playing. Like, I'm trying to get home. I'm not trying to get stuck out here in California. Although I do love California, I'm trying to be home with my family. We're like trying to book a flight back right like that same night. Because we like, okay, we came to be a vendor at this event. That happened. We did that. And guess what? There was supposed to be a gala the day after, and they canceled it. So at that point, we're like, we really don't have any reason to be here. So we went to go try to cancel our flight and rebook for another flight. And then we basically had to like calm each other down, like, you know, breathe. Let's be rational here and let's just not jump the gun, right? So we went to go get some weed. We got hella weed because we couldn't really do anything else, right? Sorry, mommy. Because my mom kept on pressing me on Instagram, like, really, like every time I post the weed that I got. We really didn't have nothing else to do except to get high. Like, we in Cali, so we literally were getting high in our hotel room. Like, we couldn't really do anything else. So one night we got so high in the hotel room that we started having the craziest conspiracy theories. Like, we were like, oh my God, like, basically they're trying to keep everyone inside. Like, they're slowly but surely trying to keep everyone inside because they're gonna like have a whole war, like whatever, or they're gonna try to move things in and out the cities, like all this kind of stuff. We started thinking like this is like a whole economic reset, like they're trying to basically wipe out all of the economy and reset it all by like closing all these businesses, everything. Like, we started thinking like all this stuff, like basically they're trying to keep everyone inside, and whoever doesn't stay inside in time for whatever is gonna happen, they're just gonna be bodied. Like, it's gonna be like, yo, I warned y'all, I told y'all to stay inside. So basically we were thinking all this kind of stuff. Our heart was racing. Literally, I called my boyfriend panicking, and he's just like, you sound dumb, you're high. Like, stop, get off my phone. I'm just like, ah. So we literally we were literally trying to switch the flight to the next morning. Good thing we fell asleep. We fell asleep and we woke up and we're like, yo, we were bugging last night. Like, and I'm like, did you switch the flight? She's like, no. I'm like, good, because we are really ODing. Like, we still have to live our life. We're still here on this trip. We can still enjoy the time that we're on this trip in a very smart way. So basically, after that, we basically just like went out to eat places. Like, when we went out to eat, like, we were talking to like the servers and the people who work there, and they're basically talking about the fact that they don't understand why they still have to be here working and putting themselves at risk if the virus is that serious. And I'm just like, damn, I feel so bad because y'all have to be here working because of people like us that are still here. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt so bad. I was like tipping everybody heavy, like literally like large tips, because I was just like, damn, they really have to be out here like because of assholes like us. And it really got me to thinking like, I need to go home. Like, I am just being ridiculous. Like, there's people that are really trying to contain this virus and do what's right for the greater good of everybody and stay inside. And then there's people like me that are out here at the cannabis cafe and like at brunch and doing all this corny stuff. And it's just like, it just really made me think. Like, I'm looking at the streets like, yo, these streets are empty. These people live here and these people are inside in their home. So basically that kind of turned us away, and we were just like, we're not gonna do anything really for the rest of the trip. Like, we're not even about to be those people. So basically we ended up just driving around California, like all these places that we wanted to see. Like, we just drove there and then we came out and like explored the place for a little bit. We just tried to avoid too much like social interactions. That was basically how the trip went. It was just like it was just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, for the business aspect, but as far as like, oh, I'm traveling, I'm going on a trip during coronavirus, or people are like, oh, the tickets are so cheap, like I'm copping a ticket and I'm going on vacation. Like, it's just like, no, it's corny and it's just not worth it. The reality of the situation is this: there is a virus that spreads extremely easily. You could have the virus and you could be a strong built person and have no symptoms. Then you go and you expose someone else to the virus, an older person or something, for instance, and they are weaker and now they're sick and they're on the verge of dying. And there's people that are actually dying. In Italy, in one day, they had 368 people die. And Italy has the second best healthcare system in the world. And they had 368 people die in one day. Of course, that's something that everywhere in the world is gonna wanna contain. They don't want people dying left and right. We don't want that. So at that point, everyone is around the world is trying to do everything to contain this virus, keep everyone inside, stop the spread, and try to figure out a way to find a cure and then deal with the people who have it and quarantine them and keep them safe and try to, you know, keep them alive. So for us to be going outside and be like, oh, we're going on vacation while the world is trying to stop this spread of this virus is really just a selfish act. Life is bigger than that. There's bigger problems happening. People are being affected. Everyone is being affected. That's the thing. Like, you might think that this has no effect on you, but essentially it's a domino effect. Everyone is being affected. You understand what I'm saying? And the longer that we take to control this by working together as a human race, the longer that everyone is going to be affected. Everyone. So that's my takeaway from this all. I really want to just say that you guys should just stay safe, keep a level head. Don't start like going in, feeding into conspiracy theories. Don't start making social media consume you. Stay at the crib, hold it down. Do some karaoke, read some books, listen to some music, do some yoga, you know, FaceTime your shorty, do whatever you have to do. Don't fall into any kind of depressed hole. Just know that everyone is going through the same situation that you are, and it's gonna pass. Just hold your head, pray to God, stay positive, and just know that we're gonna get through it. You've already gotten through the hardest days of your life already at this moment in time. You're gonna get through this one too. I promise you. I love you guys. Thank you.